Danny, give me your thoughts on that performance by Manchester United, my bro.
Oh man, it's been a long time since Man United played, and you know me, Terry. You see me behind backstage, I start dancing and stuff, just excited to get on. Man United 5, Leipzig 0. Are you kidding me? That's the best performance. That's the best performance in Europe, probably since the 7-1, since we beat Roma 7-1. To be honest with you, like in terms of just a performance in one game, just a one-game performance, 5-0 at home to Nagelsmann, the new shiny toy that everybody wants as their manager. Like, they're top of the Bundesliga. There's no excuses here. There's no asterisks. We beat a top team 5-0 in the Champions League in a run of fixtures that everybody told me would cost Ole his job. I told people, I'm going down with the ship. I got told there's no ship. I got told I was on a buoy or whatever you call it. That's what I got told. Yeah, I told, man, this fixture list, like, I saw it and I thought, no, we will navigate it. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's record against Pep, Jose Mourinho, Poch, who people want, now Nagelsmann, the previous week against Tuchel. Give this man his respect. He clearly knows what he's doing. He's clearly a tactician. The standard of coaching is clearly good. Otherwise, you would not get these results in these games against these top teams. And let's just add some distinctions here. When we go into these big matches, we're not doing what Arsenal do, where we barely manage 3-4 attempts on goal. No, we get into the double figures in these matches. 12 to 15 attempts on goal. Big chances created. Big chances. And now Ole switched to the diamond. Yo, I said before, maybe this ain't sustainable. Neeks convinced me earlier on where he said, you know what? If Ole's brave enough to rotate this midfield and say, Pogba, you're on the bench for this game, but you'll come on and you'll start next week. Same to Bruno, same to Donny. We've got 4 very good to excellent strikers. And yo, we're good to go.
You make a great point there, Danny, and it's one. There are things to have criticised Ole about in recent time. One that people are voting for, which I've always said was wrong, even when I didn't necessarily want him here, is that he hasn't got good man management. Because you know what I see when Pogba's on the bench for 3 games running, and he comes on and then plays as a sub or starts today. There's no attitude. There's nothing but desire, work rate, and determination. Ole may not be, and even when those leaked stories from Ed Woodward were coming out when he was gearing up to sack Ole if these 5 games went badly. You still saw certain comments from the players within that. They respect and like Ole. They like how he goes about things. And do you know why? Because he hasn't been doing what a lot of the Ole outers have been demanding of him. You know, outing players in public, attacking the club in the press, arguing with the directors in press conferences. He's kept things 100% professional. Cam, I want to speak Rashford when it comes to yourself for a minute, mate. I mean, it's a hat trick. We know how great a hat trick is. And he got it after being so gentlemanly in giving, you know, he feeds kids, he feeds Martial. Like, he just is absolutely amazing.
And he served Upamecano on a plate today.
I love Upamecano. He's going to be a top player. But you know, like in the summer, it's like, sign up Upamecano and it fixes our defense. Shush people and actually watch some football. Talk to me about Marcus Rashford, please.
Marcus Rashford had that man on skates today. Like, he came on and it was just, this is what people need to understand. Like, I brought it up on Vibes FC. We needed time to train. Like, we did not have time to train in this diamond. Marcus Rashford came on playing in this diamond and he looks unplayable. He was turning like left, right. Every move he made just looks so sure of himself. That MB has given him powers. This man has taken it. He's world class. He is world class. I do not care anymore. I'm done. Like, after this season, it will be done. Obviously, we need the outputs, but the outputs will be there. Marcus Rashford will put up 25 goals this year, and there will be no more conversation about whether or not he's a world class player. Marcus Rashford has stood up today. He came on. Like, think about it. He didn't play 90 minutes a day. He put up a hat trick in 30 minutes? What?
And you know what as well? On top of that, boys, on Rashi, he did it against RB Leipzig. This wasn't against Midgetland last night or something like that. This was against like a legit. They're semi-bloody finalists. So go on, Danny, mate. You're going to say something, bro?
No, just because Cam said he's like Rashford is world class. This is for all the Dragon Ball Z fans watching. Sorry, Terry, I know you're not a Dragon Ball Z man. Yeah. And I put this in the group chat. I'm going to say it publicly because I think that, you know, my Dragon Ball Z fans would appreciate this. Marcus Rashford is like Gohan. We've seen the signs early.
Yes.
Those signs were his what he did in the big matches where he was clinical and he scored. Then we see in the small matches he weren't so clinical, but the signs were there.
Yes.
And now he's at a point where he's going to go from Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan 2
Say
so
True
quickly.
Blood.
So
Where's Sal?
quickly.
Where's
So
Sal, fam?
quickly.
Where is
So
Sal?
quick.
I want Sal's head on the plate.
Oh, God.
That is the most accurate analysis of Marcus Rashford I've ever heard.
You know what I
If you
said?
know, you know.
I want
I don't
Sal's
I
head
don't
on
know
the
Dragon
plate.
Ball Z, so I can't appreciate the reference, but I'll do a bit of research on it. What I would say about Rashford is this: 2 years ago in the Fan Park Live studio, I was telling people that this kid had the ability to become a tier 1 player, and tier 1s in the Premier League era include the likes of Cantona's and Rooney's and Thierry Henry's, and everyone laughed and said, "You're absolutely off your head. He's only ever scored 13 goals in a season." I was like, "Boys, at the time he was like 19 years old, on his way to turning 20." And I'm like, he's gonna come good. Last year, over 20 goals scored. Already got 9. He's got 9 goal contributions in 9 games so far this season. The kid's on absolute fire. So we want to hear your comments about Marcus Rashford and how good he is. Some super chats to do here. First of all, we are 3rd gen United fans. What my grandfather said, best decision was to stick with Sir Alex Ferguson. Mark my words, Ole is the manager for United. Fred was superb. Fred was amazing tonight, wasn't he? He won every ball. He was great.
We need to do not church, and it's not even Sunday, fam. Pastor Frederick.
You know what we haven't talked about though enough right now is the fact that they didn't score. We haven't talked about that enough. At the start of the season, like what was everybody talking about?
More than that.
We needed a defender.
They barely created a chance. They barely created a chance.
Nothing. We needed a defender. We needed Upamecano. We needed all these players to keep our clean sheets. And now look, we're getting our shape back. Here, Maguire's got that bad feeling off his back clearly because let's be honest.
I want to hear from Itest as well. I want someone to share the link with Itest, not publicly right now, because Itest was saying the other day that we've become better defensively because we've sacrificed our attack since we returned from international break, and of course we needed to improve our defensive areas because we conceded 13 goals or something in our opening 4 or 5 games across all competitions. We've not, the teams haven't scored against us, as an example, 2 own goals, and there've been 3 own goals in that. We're barely conceding. Where were the gilt-edged chances tonight? Barring the header, the Hair say there was no RB Leipzig, who are famed for playing open, expansive, free-flowing, high-press, sort of Gurgen-press football, the future of football, with a philosophy that everyone can name and talk about because there's an option for it. The Nagelsmann feature on FIFA probably create an opening against us. And by the way, that was with Victor Bindersov and the fridge at the back, and we kept them absolutely quiet. It's
the fridge and the freezer. The freezer.
We need to realize as well. Like Ollie did something that if he was a PE teacher and didn't know what he's doing, wouldn't do. He saw what happened before international break. Saw what he was trying to do was not working. So he went back to basics, went back to the structure that got us in the top 4 in the first place. You gotta respect him. I'm not saying you've got to love Ollie, but you gotta give the man the respect that he deserves for noticing he went wrong and fixing it. And now, hopefully, he can use it. And now, hopefully, he can go forward now and use it as a platform to continue to make the right decisions and do well. That's all we want.
Sorry to interrupt you, KJ. And it's that thing where people think this man's like some mental midget. They think he's small. They think he can't make big decisions. They think he's weak. Dropping Paul Pogba's not weak. You see Van der Beek's response when he came off the pitch, clapping, high fives. Did you see the camera hunting him, cutting to him several times to get that disappointed nod?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
And you know what I said? If the result goes as we want it to, it's not a story. But if we'd have drawn 1-1 and then they brought him on, we had conceded gone 1-1, brought him on, and we didn't win the game, that would have been the picture. It would have been Ollie makes mistake. They do it on purpose. It's Netflix. It's to create a narrative and a story that there's no doubt about it. Go on, Nick.
Bring back up that super chat, the last one. Yeah, listen, and we took. That's why that talk in the international break about all the disharmony around Manchester United and arguments and infighting and not trusting this. What we saw today, and obviously Bruno came out and dismissed it before we even came back for international break, but today was evidence of that. As you mentioned, Pogba and the likes had been dropped in previous weeks. They started today. There was no sulking. They went out and did their job professionally. Van der Beek comes off after his first start after being locked up clearly because everyone's saying free Van der Beek. You know, so I got Mandem inside in the bin, but Van der Beek looked very happy in the bin that he was in. And he comes off, he's high-fiving Ole. Bruno comes on and he said, my captain. I rate that, you know, we need more than one captain on the field, and Bruno's proved that. And he comes on, it's not about Bruno now. He's trying to pass to Cavani. He's giving the penalty to Martial. Everyone is trying to set up a next man. The only time where someone was a bit selfish was Rashford when he tried to go for the hat trick. And he deserves it. We're 3-0 up. He's got the 2 goals. He wants to go for that hat trick. But when the chance came, he could have asked Bruno, let me have this penalty. Let me have this penalty for the hat trick. And he didn't do it. The team chemistry we have on and off the field is sublime. It's sublime, and it's down to Ole. Credit the players for you know, getting on board.
Yes,
Ole has implemented and brought that.
When Bruno came on,
just to say the way sorry, I'm just excited. Sorry, Cam. Just because Leeks just triggered something. The way he stood up Upamecano when he should have played in Martial, stood him up, FIFA'd him, faked him, passed 2 more man, didn't finish. But my God, like
MBE powers, fam.
So make no mistake about it. Like all of these people who have doubted this boy and nitpicked this boy. Like I saw Martial do things today. If Rashford did it, they would have been clipped out on Twitter during the game.
Exactly. And me and Luke talking about that at half time. And it wasn't to have a go at Martial. It's just the standard of people. Like one guy makes a mistake. Like Rashford can make one mistake and that's his game written off. Where other players can make 10 mistakes and score a winning goal, and it's like everything's forgotten. And I just have that same energy for all of our players. And I think for me, a lot of what you said about Rashford, it isn't just what he's doing this season, though. This is what I want to stress to people. Rashford, in his last 52 games for Manchester United, now has 42 goal contributions. He's closing on 100% goal contributions to game ratio. And for an inside forward, it's very key to count both assists and goals. He's growing, and he's still 22. He might have just turned 23, actually. I might be wrong. Someone will call me out. No, he's 20. Oh, he's 20 in 3 days' time, he turns 23, but he's 22 years of age. What he's doing at his age is absolutely outstanding, and he's going to keep getting better. And what I love about Rashi so much is it's his work rate and his determination to continue to get better. We've seen a lot of young kids break into this Man United squad in the last 7-8 years since Fergie, Adnan Januzaj, James Wilson to stand out as 2. And I don't think they had the right. I think they believe they'd made it as soon as they started playing in the first team. Where Rashford, for me, I saw some comments going, Greenwood should start in front of Rashford moving forward. I want Rashford to think, I might lose my place here, because I know Rashford will go to training or come on and try even harder. And now I know Greenwood's going to push himself harder. That's what you want. You want this team to love each other and respect each other, but want to keep each other out. There's no coincidence to me that David De Gea has returned to his best. Now, Dean Henderson, who wants to start.
Do you see what Martial said about Cavani? That
he can learn from him.
He said Cavani is a great player. He's got a lot of experience. I can learn from him, but I still want to be the number one. So I'm going to push myself. And this season, you're going to see the best Anthony Martial. When have we heard him speak like this before?
Never.
We've never. He barely speaks.
Because Ole has created the environment to make that possible and plausible.